Welcome to Sarah Wood's Tale, where stories comes alive. Please do well to hit that subscription button and turn on your notification bell for subsequent stories. This is a true story. The small village of Kinsaya sat nestled between rolling green hills and a winding river that shimmered under the golden African sun. The air carried the scent of earth and fresh rain, a mix of warmth and mystery. Emily Carter stood on the wooden porch of their modest house, her hand resting gently on her stomach. She could feel the faintest swell of life growing within her, a fragile hope that she held onto with all her heart. Inside, Daniel, her husband, poured 2 glasses of freshly squeezed mango juice. His blue eyes sparkled as he turned to her, his excitement evident. "To our baby," he said, raising his glass with a smile. "This time, it's going to be different, Em. I can feel it." Emily turned to him, her smile soft but cautious. She wanted to believe him. She needed to believe him. After 3 devastating miscarriages, this pregnancy felt like her last chance. Her hands trembled slightly as she picked up her glass. "To our baby," she echoed, clinking her glass against his. "To hope." Daniel took her free hand and kissed it gently. "You should rest. The doctor said to take it easy." "I know," she sighed. "But I feel good. I feel strong." He wrapped an arm around her and led her inside. "That's because you are strong." The evening was peaceful. The villagers had been kind, welcoming them with open arms when Daniel's research on ancient tribal customs brought them here. It was a quiet place, untouched by the noise of the modern world. But as the night deepened, something unseen seemed to lurk beyond the shadows of the trees. Emily woke in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat. Her breath came in short gasps, her heart hammering in her chest. She had dreamt of someone, whispering in a language she didn't understand. The words had been low, urgent. And then a baby's cry. She placed a protective hand over her belly. "It's just a dream," she whispered to herself, trying to shake the unease that clung to her like a second skin. 3 months passed. The day had been marked on their calendar in bold red letters, 12 weeks. The milestone they never reached before. Emily and Daniel sat in the clinic, their hands tightly clasped as the doctor examined her. The tiny ultrasound screen flickered, showing the rhythmic flutter of a tiny heartbeat. Emily exhaled in relief, her chest loosening for the first time in weeks. "There it is," the doctor said with a smile. "Strong heartbeat. Everything looks perfect." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. She squeezed Daniel's hand. This time, it was real. This time, they would have their baby. But the moment of peace was fleeting. That night, Emily woke up screaming. Daniel bolted upright. "Emily, what is it?" She clutched her stomach, pain radiating through her like fire. "Something's wrong," she gasped, her voice barely a whisper. "It hurts. Oh God, it hurts." Daniel grabbed his phone. "I'm calling the doctor." But Emily already knew. It was happening again. The agony was unbearable. It twisted inside her, clawing, pulling, taking. She doubled over, tears spilling down her face. A sickening dread crept into her mind, not just from the pain but from something deeper. A feeling she couldn't explain. A presence she couldn't see. Within the hour, it was over. She lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, numb. The doctor stood beside Daniel, murmuring something about unexplained complications, about how there was no medical reason this kept happening. Daniel sat beside her, his hands in his hair. "I don't understand," he whispered. "Everything was fine." The doctor said everything was fine. Emily turned her head to him, her voice hollow. "Then why does this keep happening?" He had no answer. The days passed in silence. The villagers, hearing of her loss, sent offerings of food and herbal teas, but nothing could soothe the ache in Emily's heart. She barely spoke, barely ate. She spent hours sitting on the porch, staring at the trees, feeling an emptiness so deep it swallowed her whole. And then, Margaret came. The old woman had lived in Kinsaya for as long as anyone could remember. Her silver hair framed her dark, wrinkled face, and her eyes held a wisdom that made Emily uneasy. She moved slowly, deliberately, her beaded bracelets jingling softly as she approached the porch. "You should not sit alone," Margaret said, her voice like rustling leaves. Emily barely glanced at her. "I don't feel like talking." Margaret sighed, then sat beside her anyway. For a long moment, they sat in silence. Then, the old woman spoke again. "It's not your body failing you," she said. Emily turned her head, frowning. "What?" Margaret's gaze was heavy. Something is taking them. A chill ran down Emily's spine. What are you talking about? Margaret exhaled, her fingers tracing the beads on her wrist. You do not see. But they do. The ones who walk the in-between. Emily's throat tightened. I don't believe in. Margaret cut her off. It does not matter what you believe. It matters what they believe. Emily swallowed hard, an icy fear settling in her bones. Who are they? Margaret turned to her, her dark eyes like black holes. The ones who were wronged. The ones who were promised something long ago. And now, they come to collect. A gust of wind blew through the trees, carrying the distant sound of a baby's cry. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Margaret leaned in closer, her voice barely above a whisper. You must find out why, Emily, before it takes more than just your child. And with that, she rose, disappearing into the night, leaving Emily alone with a terror that had only just begun. The nightmares began immediately. Every night, Emily dreamed of faceless shadows reaching toward her stomach, their fingers cold as ice. They whispered in a language she didn't understand, but the desperation in their voices was clear. And always, in the distance, a baby's cry echoed, soft at first, then rising into an agonized wail. Each night, she woke up breathless, drenched in sweat. And each night, Daniel reassured her it was just grief, just her mind playing tricks on her. But deep down, Emily knew it was something more. The cries weren't just in her dreams. Some nights, she heard them in the walls, in the trees outside, in the silence of their home, where no child had ever been. Then came the whispers. One evening, as she stood by the window, she heard it, soft, insidious. Emily. She spun around, her heart hammering. There was no one there. Emily sought answers. She visited the village historian, an old man named Thomas, who told her a chilling tale. Centuries ago, a colonial ancestor of hers stole something precious from a powerful African priestess. Enraged, the priestess placed a curse upon all female descendants. They would never carry a child to term. Emily's blood ran cold. Could this be true? She searched the house and found an old diary belonging to her great-grandmother. The last entry read, I buried the truth, but the debt remains unpaid. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to get more interesting stories like this.